the Greens, you're completely out of power. What a pathetic campaign. Attach yourself to Abby Chatfield and this is what you get. Losers. You got no power anymore at all. Sucked in. Everyone's leaving the Greens because they're a party of hate and division.
It's not all doom and gloom. There's a bit of excitement in the air. As we said, Adam Bandt from the Yarra to the sea. Melbourne is finally free.
You come up with these fire lines, man. You got that one, and you had another one the other day as well.
No, I didn't come up with that. To be fair, somebody
didn't come up with that one.
Somebody put it up, and I retweeted it, and then I just ran with it all day. But what I want to get at, because there were people early on celebrating Dutton's fall. We have.
Seriously,
Joel, this
guys,
is your good friend. How
Abby?
it feels waking up knowing that Peter Dutton is unemployed, right? This is Abby Chatfield. Very excited. Very, very excited. Peter Dutton celebrating somebody's demise and their fall. Very proud of herself, hey? We also had Adam Bandt himself, and together we have kicked out Dutton. I'd say that aged mighty fine, eh?
So would you say he did a suicide bombing? Is that what he did? I mean, he lost his seat in the process.
Yes. Well, he's really taken lead from Hamas.
I can't begin to tell you how much hate I got after we got off. And they're like, Joel's a Zionist. And I'm like, mate, if I'm a Zionist, then I'm also a vibrator user because Abby, I hopped on a debate with Abby Chatfield.
To be fair, you probably are a Zionist. Let's not understate your
We'll save that for another time.
Listen, you don't want to open doors that are going to get shut right on you.
But this is Adam Bandt's ego, his hubris. It's all catching up with him. It's well deserved.
Well deserved. The joy. So you know what's funny is I have actually a neighbor who the other day I made a bet with him. Before the election, I made a bet with him, a bet that I thought I was going to lose. So the bet was this simple. I was walking the dog and, we got to talking. I go to him, I bet you Adam Bandt's going to lose his seat. He goes, if that's true, I'm going to bring a bottle of whiskey on Friday night to your house and we're going to sit on a nice bottle of whiskey. I go to him, you know what? If anyone else loses their seat, I'll buy a bottle of whiskey and then we can sit on Friday night. And then
you know what, Avi? Before we keep going, Avi, on the last stream, you actually promised us a free party if Adam Bandt loses his seat. I don't know if you're trying to skip over that little tidbit.
I want to see the evidence of that before we get
on the stream. You promised a party.
Hold on, there's
everyone.
a technical issue here. I can't hear you properly.
We had half a million
free party.
We had a half a million
free party. Adam Bandt is out. We won the free party. So there is a video clip of it. Guys, if you can find it on the previous stream, please clip it and put it on X and ask Avi Yemini for the party. He will fund it himself and invite all of Melbourne to it. So
okay,
find that clip, guys, and put it online.
I think we should.
Party 3,000 years ago.
I think somebody, listen, Zionist, sit down. I think there's somebody actually messaged me today. He owns his mate he was at the lockdown protests, a Wog, and he messaged me with a photo reminding me who he is, legend. And one of his mates, I think the other guy in the photo, he might be watching this. He sent me a thing going, "Hey, my mate owns the restaurant bar in Adam Bandt's electorate, and he wants to host a farewell to Adam Bandt." So maybe Rukshan, we can organise that party. I'll reach out to him. Maybe we'll do that party. But what I found interesting is what happened at the end of the night, right? So we had to drink our sorrows away, and things got exciting, and we got to condemn Babette for his trumpets of whatever they are, and Rukshan tried to back him. Whatever, that's another story. But then you could see the trend going against the Greens. And Abby Chatfield, who was so excited, decided to go online to explain why it wasn't really a trend against the Greens. Now, I want to watch it, and then I want to unpack it now 3 days, because it was 3 days ago. It got 23,000 likes. And it's funny because it's almost convincing until the facts get in the way.
Greens, and you're walking around today a little bit smug, I just want to let you know that smugness is pretty unjustified. And every time you comment something like,
Sucked in the Greens, you're completely out of power. What a pathetic campaign. Attach yourself to Abby Chatfield, and this is what you get. Losers. You got no power anymore at all. Sucked in. Everyone's leaving the Greens because they're a party of hate and division.
I just want to stop there a second, because I think I didn't see. This is what a narcissist she is, right? I know you're blushing. You like her. It's fine. And she may or may not have lent you some of her toys or whatever. But the point here, firstly, just a side point, is she made it about her. Like, I haven't seen anyone on the internet saying that the Greens lost because they attached themselves to Abby Chatfield. I've seen a lot of people saying that they attached themselves to Gaza, to Hamas, to everything but Australia, everything against Australia, if anything. I haven't seen anyone but her mention Abby Chatfield.
Yeah, I mean,
The hate and division,
right.
the hate and division part's true about what's happening there, and also them just becoming the hate and division party, whether it's issues to do with Australia, welcome to country, everything to do with Australia, the Australian anthem, the Australian flag, Australia Day. The hate and division is true. That's what people. But nobody was saying anything about Abby Chatfield. But that's a side note. Who cares? Let's pretend that's what we said, right?
you're actually embarrassing yourself.
Do you like when she does that with her hair, Joel?
mate, swooning.
Because you're showing that you don't understand the voting data that's pretty easy to read. Let's have a look, shall we? And if you're a Green supporter, don't fret too much. While obviously it would have been great to gain some seats in the House of Reps, or at least keep them all, this result, and if you look at the voting data, it actually looks good. So hold on and let's have a look at what's actually happened. For all the freaky little weirdos on the internet saying,
Okay, so firstly, her source for all this, just so you know, is the Greens website.
Yeah.
The data is so easy to understand that Abby Chatfield couldn't even go on the Electoral Commission's website to break it down for you, or even ABC or whatever Rukshan's using there.
Yeah, or even SBS.
She went to the
Anything
Greens
but the Greens.
website, but she went early on, because in a second we'll look at that data, won't we, Joel?
that people are leaving the Greens in high numbers. That just simply isn't true. As we can see here, the Greens have secured the highest ever vote in history, okay? That is the national vote. It's obviously different and represented differently because of electorates, but as a whole, there are more Australians than ever that have voted for the Greens. So no, people aren't leaving the Greens in droves. The reality is people are leaving the coalition in droves. In fact, we can see here, the coalition is on track to one of its lowest ever primary votes since the party was formed in 1940. The coalition...
The only true statement she's talking about here is from an actual website, news site, as opposed to the Greens website.
is losing favour, not the Greens. The majority of the seats that changed hands this election went to the Labor Party, which kind of indicates that traditionally Liberal voters are changing to vote for Labor in this election.
All right, I don't think we need to watch the end. The point is, can you bring up the data for the national vote for the Greens? Because was it under 1%? How much was the national vote for the Greens?
Right, let's have a look.
It was more than that.
5%,
It was more
sorry.
than 1%.
What was that? What is it at? And what was last year's national? Can you bring up both?
So the Greens got 11.7%
11.7,
of
sorry.
the national vote.
That's right.
So it's down. It's a down 0.05%.
So there, sorry, that was my mistake. The 11.7 down 5%. So it is not the most. So when they say it's the most national votes, the most votes in history, maybe per person, it might actually be because we've got a bigger population 3 years ago. But they're crashing out, and they got nothing to show for it. In fact, they lost their leader. The lady
lost
that
three. Yeah.
Yeah, they lost 3 seats, plus they lost their leader that she was so excited to celebrate, as in that is the big victory here. And the data that's so easy to read, like, it's the ultimate gaslighting. No, guys, we haven't actually lost. Look over here. And then when you actually look over there, not on the Greens website, they're not up. They're down.
Yeah.
They-
Well, it
and-
might
and-
come to the point of the media bias that you're talking about before, Avi. Like, a lot of people don't want to accept that this is happening to the Greens. They don't want to accept that this is, the current state of the Greens right now is like an unpopular party. They don't enjoy the support like they used to in a meaningful way. And for Adam Bandt to lose Melbourne, something that he's held since, I believe, 2010, he's synonymous with Melbourne. So it's a massive, massive blow to the Greens, whichever way you try to dice it. So Abby's doing her best, I think, to sell this to that particular audience. But I think it's devastating for the Greens brand overall.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for them to win back some lower house seats. So, and also, guys, their vote is getting older. I mean, they're Greens. A lot of people are moving on from the Greens and voting Teal and voting for some other independents out there. They're not voting.
That's
for
who I think
Greens
they
anymore.
lost. I think they gained like the voters that they gained were TikTok, kids that come out. I talk to kids. I got kids that age that are just getting into voting age, and they like the policies. I was talking to my daughter. She's like, "Yeah, but what about taxing the rich?" Like, it's these slogans that sound good to broke kids.
Yeah.
But the older generation have seen the Greens and moved away from the Greens because they see them as a protest party, a party that's full of hate and division. And in the last year and a half, they haven't done themselves any favors. And look at, for example, Samantha Ratnam.
Yeah.
I'm voting for Gaza this time. I'm changing my vote for Gaza this time. Let's change our votes for Gaza this time. Let's get out there and do it for every single Palestinian who struggled for over 70 years, for every single Gazan child who's suffering right now. We hold them in our hearts. I'm voting.
She lost
Yeah, and that's
her
the real
seat.
question. Can you guys keep it going for the state election? Can you get these Greens out in the upper house and in the lower house for the state election? It'll be very interesting to see if you can in November next year.
Yeah, definitely. But that video shows, Avi, like these Greens, Samantha Ratnam, and I don't claim her as a Sri Lankan, even though
She's one of yours.
She's one of us. But look, it's embarrassing that we live in Australia and you have a party like the Greens, who were not really set up as a party that was dealing with foreign issues as such. They were an environmentalist style party, and now their whole policy platform seems to be about supporting acts of terrorism, if you want to look at it that way. And I don't think it's resonating with Melburnians, especially in Victoria, because that's where the protest capital has been week after week after week. And perhaps this vote against Adam Bandt is a reflection of the fact that people have rejected that. And I think the Greens have really lost their way by trying to court that vote, because it hasn't turned out for them. It hasn't worked out for them whatsoever. And, a lot of people see them. I talk to a lot of ordinary people, and they see them as a party that doesn't represent anything that's happening in Australia. They see them as a foreign issue policy party. And some people associate them directly with being a party that supports terrorism. I mean, why would you want to taint your political party in this way in Australia? It makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. And even Labor hasn't been so insane to paint themselves in this corner, even though they've been, of course, been accused of acting in a similar manner. They've been restrained, whereas the Greens have just gone all in on this terrorism stick and said, hey, this election, let's make it about Gaza, when so many Australians were suffering from, cost of living and all these other issues we've talked about. It's insane. And I think they deserve the defeat that they're seeing, especially in the lower house.